Hey guys, last video of the day today. Uh, this kind of hits near and dear, honestly. As a kid, I was the victim of bullying on multiple occasions, and I was also the bully on more than one occasion. I never did anything quite as bad, in fact, nearly as bad as what's described in this story. But as someone who's been on both sides of this is an issue I understand pretty well, and it's something that I think that I have a lot of insight into. So we're going to talk about it. More than going over to this story by 12 News Now, I really think you can skip that and go to Mike Get's Facebook post about it. This story really doesn't tell you any new information except for the school and some other people's statements. This story is about this video, which I'm going to tell you right now, if you got kids watching, you might want to send them out of the room. Or maybe not, because this is a teachable moment. Depends on how mature they are and how well they respond to graphic, violent imagery. Hard to watch, but becoming more and more common. And it's not just because cell phone usage and possession is kicking up among younger demographics, it's because this behavior is becoming more common. You know, there was a time in America where this kind of violence in schools was virtually unheard of in pretty much any city outside of like Detroit and Chicago. But now it's every city in the US has at least one school where this is going on every day. And I can tell you, as someone who's been on the receiving end of stuff like this stuff really hangs a dark cloud over you. It really makes you feel intimidated and like there's no hope, like every day is going to be like this. This kid deserves justice, and he deserves better than what Democrats are doing to the political and social climate. We have been so brainwashed into believing that one race is always evil and always wicked, and they're always doing everything they can to fuck everything up, and the other race is blameless and they're not capable of racism and they're oppressed by systemic racism, and so we have to give them a break and blah blah. And the end result is things like this kid, who's twice the size of this smaller kid, is able to beat the shit out of this small, helpless kid. And he's just going to spend a little bit of time in juvie, as this article says. And he's already been to juvie multiple times, apparently. The statement from Getz. As for the assailant, he has been arrested and will likely be charged with robbery in addition to assault and will hopefully be prosecuted as an adult. This is not his first rodeo. It rarely is with things like this. He has been arrested before, but current state and federal law allows these offenders back on campus after a relatively short stay at juvenile detention. This kid should be banned from public learning institutions. His parents should be forced to homeschool him or pay for him to go to a private school. And I mean that with 100% sincerity and forethought. I realize that the very real likelihood of that decision would be that this kid does not get an education. But what you have to realize is this kid, it's not just happening in bathrooms. This kid is a disruption in the classroom. This kid is a disruption before school, during walking periods between classes, during lunch, after school, in the buses. Kids like this disrupt every child around them from learning and feeling safe in their environment. He should be removed from the public school system, and that should be the policy for every kid that engages in behavior like this. There needs to be extreme action at this point because the problem has festered too long without being addressed. Things like elevating racial tensions, which is entirely contrived by Democrats. Things like unwillingness to punish crime. Things like the deteriorating family situation. How much you want to bet this kid doesn't have a good relationship with his dad, if he has one with his dad? How much you want to bet he lives in a single parent home with his mom? Stats indicate it's a good bet. Democrats have destroyed or made every attempt to destroy the nuclear family, especially for ethnic minorities. Can't get welfare if daddy's in the home. 1980s crime bill. Dads get sent to prison and stay there. They've done everything they can to take fathers away from the home. And so what do we get? We get kids that do this to other kids. Homeschool your kids and demand that politicians enact real policy changes. This bullshit that he talks about in his statement, having a bathroom monitor or other band-aid solutions like that, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. You think a bully can't figure out how to silently beat the shit out of a kid? You think a bully can't figure out how to recruit accomplices to blockade the entrance so he has the 10-15 seconds needed to really give the kid a pounding? Having a monitor outside the bathroom isn't going to fix this issue. What's going to fix this issue is punishing these kids. And by the way, all the kids that stood there and did nothing while this poor kid was having the shit beat out of him, they should be punished too. Detention or expulsion, not from the whole school system, but from that school. Make their parents feel the pain of their child's cowardice. Make their parents understand that they have raised an incompetent little coward. And start putting the impetus back on parents to raise a kid that knows to do the right thing in these situations. Because too many parents in this country have just given up on doing a good job of raising their kids. So, that's all I got for you. I got obligations for the rest of the day. God save us. God save us. And in the meantime, thank you for being here. I'm Zach Pieper, the lead adventurer here at Team Adventurous. And welcome to the adventure.